Are you ready to see some obscure books? If so, I want to encourage you to stay tuned to this video because what I'll be doing is showing you some of the more obscure books that I have found in my 100K collection thus far. And this is honestly not the first video of its kind that I've actually done. There are others that I've actually done that are located here on the channel as well, but we potentially are going to take it to another level. Stay tuned. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, I'll be showing you some obscure comics that I've been pulling from my comic book collection. And this is not the first video of this sort that I have done. It is, however, the first one that I've done pulling books from the 100K collection. And it was actually several weeks ago that Tina recommended that I take some time to share with you all some of the more obscure books from the collection. So little by little, I've been setting some of those books to the side to be able to share with you. And trust me when I tell you, there is a lot of obscure stuff that I can share with you, and I'm trying to parse it out and do it in an order that actually makes sense. Because in some respects, what I've been doing is setting aside books that ultimately get turned into videos where I actually talk about the publishers or the creators that are actually behind those books. While obscure, there are some really some talented artists that are behind some of these. And so I've been trying to find ways to weave these books into the various videos. But in this one, essentially what I'm going to be doing is showing you some books that probably will not make it into other videos. So I feel pretty safe in doing this. The very first book that I'm going to show you is one that gives you a little bit of the warm and fuzzies until you realize what it actually is. And you think like Care Bears and bears are cuddly creatures. And then you meet Boris. This is Boris the Bear. And the headline on issue number 1 of his title from Dark Horse is Slaughters the Teenage Radioactive Black Belt Mutant Ninja Critters. He is here on the cover, Rambo style, with an Uzi and a sword. That is not a cuddly creature at all. Boris the Bear from Dark Horse, issue number 1, and then here is issue number 18. There is a lot of Boris in this collection. I probably have, I don't know, there's a healthy number of Boris, let's just put it that way. And what's cool is that this particular issue actually has a sales receipt in it from the previous owner. He actually bought this book for $6, the number 1 for $6 from a shop in Illinois. And it's just one of those cool things that you kind of find as you go through the collection, these little mementos from the previous owner that I get a kick out of that kind of stuff. Because we were talking about like Boris and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, kind of sorta, I thought I would talk about this next book from Eclipse and Eclipse Comics. And this is book 4, because I have not found issue number 1, of Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters. Yes, black belt hamsters. There you go. And this is actually a really cool cover. I mean, it is a pretty artistic cover right here. And it's a black cover, and I'll be honest, it is in fantastic shape. It really is in solid shape. Black belt hamsters, there you go, that are radioactive. My guess is that this came out around the same time as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they were having all of their popularity. This next book is from Renegade Press, and I do not know the year of this book. It is down in the corner signed 79 by the artist, so I'm guessing 79-80. I'm guessing that's a time frame. This is the Black Zeppelin, Gene Days, issue number 1 right there. And I will tell you, I do not know a whole lot about these books, but if someone is feeling frisky and wants to type up a little graph to kind of give me a little bit of background on some of these books that I'm showing here, you may just find yourself integrated into a future video. Let's just say There you go. Next up, Spellbinders. Spellbinders from Spellbinders from Quality Books, and this is issue number 1. This could have actually originated in the UK. I'm not quite sure about this one. Down at the bottom it says United Kingdom 75 pence. And at the top it has what I'm guessing is the US price as well as the Canadian price as well. What I do know is that this is 52 chilling pages. It's on the title, 52 chilling pages. But again, another dark book that is in fantastic shape. Don't know much about Quality Comics. I do have several titles from them, but again, not a publisher that I am all that familiar with. Because of the recent re-release of Ultraman, I thought that I would show this one, a new breed of superhero, Ultraman, and I think that this is book 2 of 3. I have a couple of other books from Ultraman. One of them is a Virgin variant that might be issue number 1. Then I think I have a trade dress. Gorgeous, gorgeous books. Somehow or another, those books have, they did not stay in the stack that I placed them in, so I don't quite know where they are. I'm sure that they'll turn up here sooner or later. Next up is another Eclipse book. This is issue number 9 of Zot. Butch is back, Zot, and this is guerrilla warfare. Just obscure and fun for no good reason. I don't know a thing about this book other than that is an awesome cover, and now you guys have been able to enjoy a chimpanzee with his double-barreled guns, or his double barrels, and him smoking a cigar. He says, "Out of my way, Blondie." There you go. That's a tough gorilla. Next up from Slave Labor Graphics. Slave Labor Graphics. This is issue number 3 of the Samurai Penguin. And there is something honestly striking about this particular cover. Maybe it's just because it's red. I don't know, but it's a striking cover to me. I saw this one in the bin. I actually saw several copies of this particular book. Decided to share with you guys. And again, just one of many books that could have been pulled from the collection and share with you, as this collection has a ton of just indie stuff and publishers that were around and are no longer present, but we still have their books. Speaking of someone that was around and is no longer here and no longer with us, Steve Ditko. This is a self-published book that Steve Ditko put out, and I want to say that this one is actually a 2-part book that Steve Ditko did, and it's called Static. And in this particular book, it is chapters 1 through 5, and I want to say that the next one is like 6 through 9 or something like that. I have not found the other book, but this is one that I found very early after I picked the collection up. And it's a pretty small comic, as you can see, but I believe that this one is self-published. And if you are into Steve Ditko, there are other videos here on the channel where I actually talk about some of, who Steve Ditko is and some of the obscure characters that he created, like Mr. A. There's actually an entire playlist that is set up for him. So if you search Regie Collects Steve Ditko, you can probably find that playlist and be able to see some of the other work that he did. He actually worked on this one probably around 1989, 1990, based upon what I'm seeing down in the lower hand corner. So there you go. Really cool Steve Ditko book there. This next one, I have never seen this one before. And I've actually seen a lot of comic book covers featuring presidents, but I've never seen this one. And I found it literally today. It is a little banged up because it was bent up in a box at some point. But this is, what is this? AP Entertainment. AP Entertainment. I need to see whether their site is still active because this was actually released in March of 2009. This is Obama Inauguration Day. And again, this image here is essentially something that we've seen on a couple of different other covers featuring President Obama. I had just never seen this one from AP Entertainment. So cool book that I found earlier. Next up, this is a PC Comics book, and this is one that I do not remember finding information on when I did my video on PC Comics a few weeks ago, but I did spot this book, and there's a couple of things that make it really cool. It is from PC Comics. PC Comics has a relationship, or had a relationship, with Jack Kirby. But this book also has probably some artwork from Barry Windsor Smith. And I dig BWS from his work on Weapon X for Wolverine. Thoroughly enjoyed that. So I decided to pull this one out. This is Pathways to Fantasy. And this one is not boarded, but this is Pathway to Fantasy from Pacific Comics. And again, not quite sure when this one was released, but definitely a cool book right there. We'll set that to the side. Speaking of my good buddy King Kirby, I thought I would show this book right here. I did that video on PC Comics, and I showed a bunch of things that he had actually worked on with them, and somebody shouted out in the comment section, he did some stuff for Topps as well. Yes, indeed he did. He did this one right here, Captain Glory. This is issue number 1 of 1 that Jack Kirby did for Topps. And Topps actually has a couple of comics. I want to say I have maybe 3 of them in the collection, but of course I had to pull the one that was tied to the king. So there you go. And then a couple of more books here that I'll show you. Next up is Hero Alliance, and this one is from Wonder Color Comics. Never heard of them before. Wonder Color Comics, and this is again Hero Alliance issue number 1 for sophisticated readers. I haven't even taken a look inside this one, to be honest with you, but I just thought it was a really cool comic that again wanted to kind of share with you guys. And if you know something about Wonder Comics down in the comment section, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys learned, and maybe, like I said, you'll be integrated into a future video or something like that. You never know. You never know what I'll come up with. And then the very last book that I'll show you, I thought this one was cool because it's kind of related to Pacific Comics as well. It is Mike Gorell. He did some work with James Bond, and this is actually written and illustrated by him. So I thought that was cool. I found this one in the collection earlier today, and I was like, cool, let me just go ahead and share this one right now. But definitely a really cool book. Again, another black book in solid shape, and I mean, it's a square bound book, and it looks amazing. It really does. So there you go. That is my most recent obscure finds in the comic book collection. If you guys enjoyed seeing these books, if you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comment section, because as I mentioned, I can do more of these if there is indeed some interest. If you guys enjoyed it, I definitely want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so in one of 2 ways. On Instagram at Regie Collects, or you can send me an email to reggie@regiecollects.com. Take care.